Hi again and welcome back. Some of you may remember the video that we put out a few weeks ago about our first year here in Thailand, and we came to celebrate. We had a meal at the Country Grill not far away from where we live. While we were here, the guy came up to us, recognised us from the YouTube channel. His name's Daryl and his wife's name is Tik, and introduced himself and we had a little chat. Fascinating guy. He's spent a lot of years here in Thailand. He's had a lot of experiences, including bringing his wife over. Well, first of all, taking his wife to the UK, then coming back over to Thailand with her, building a house here and dealing with insurance companies for health and things like that, actually spending some time in the hospital. So I said to him, look, let's have a sit down and chat. I was intending on doing it while we were at the Country Grill, but Pook and I were there for so long eating our meal. In the end, he came in and said, look, sorry mate, I'm going to have to go now. I've got no time. So he gave me his details, and we arranged to call round to his house and see him. Now, the first time we went round there, I got chatting to Daryl, Pook got chatting to Tik, and I completely forgot that I was there to do a YouTube video for the channel. Ran out of time, so Daryl kindly invited us back. He said, come back in a few days' time. He said, I'll cook lunch for you, and we'll sit down and do the video then. So that's what we did. A couple of days later, Pook and I went back round there, and we did this video, this interview with Daryl, and it gives you another guy's perspective on life in Thailand. Marrying a Thai lady, moving to the UK and life in the UK with her, and then relocating back here in Thailand. So today, Pook and I have come down just outside of town, about 15 minutes outside of town, and we've come to meet Daryl and his wife Tik. Hi Daryl.
Hiya, Kev.
How you doing?
Very well, mate.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
So we've come out here today. We're going to have a bit of lunch with Daryl. He's a bit of a chef as well. He's made some wonderful shepherd's pies.
I wouldn't go that far, not
I
chef.
don't know, they look all right to me. So yeah, we're going to sit down and we're going to have a chat about his experiences here and about his life before he got here as well, how he got here, what brought him here, that kind of thing, okay? So we thought we'd come out to the back of Daryl's house. Got a little balcony area here. It's nice and cool out in the back garden. So first of all, Daryl, how long have you been here in Thailand?
5 years living.
Yeah? And
Yeah.
what about visiting? How long?
About 12 years.
Some time then.
Oh yeah.
You got to know the place pretty well.
Oh, pretty well, yes.
Back in the UK, what were you doing? What was your job before you even decided to come to Thailand?
Right, I was a maintenance manager for a major water company.
Okay.
I took early retirement at 48.
Yeah.
with
48, nice.
With my pension coming at 50.
Beautiful. Oh, okay.
And I spent my last sort of 10 years just doing a driving job.
Oh, did you?
Which was part-time, kept me off the streets because I was getting my pension as well.
Yeah,
so
of course, yeah.
That was like my working history.
Oh, right.
And when I got to 60,
Yeah.
that was enough.
Yeah.
Finished.
And you decided to come
that's
out.
when we decided to come to Thailand.
Okay. So you met your wife here or over there or?
No, I met Tik actually online. Not a dating site.
No.
It was just a chat site.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't looking for anybody particular from Thailand or from anywhere really. Just talking for friendship.
Yeah.
Perhaps something else may develop. And Tik happened to pop up one day, and I thought, oh, she seems quite nice.
Okay.
So I carried on talking to her, and the thing was with the time difference as well.
Of course, yeah.
With her, because obviously Tik is a nurse, and she works shifts.
Right, okay.
And sometimes by the time her shift had finished, sometimes she may have done 18, 20-hour shift.
And then she's not really going to want to sit up and chat with you.
And she doesn't want to talk to me. And this was sort of in the days. I was getting up 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
For work.
Okay.
And with the time difference, I was staying all hours, sometimes not going to work because I was so tired because I'd been talking to her all night.
Oh, no.
And sometimes I'd be talking to her, she'd finish a shift, she's led on the bed, and we're talking, and suddenly she's gone to sleep.
Just whacked right out.
Whacked right out after 18, 20-hour shift. And so what I used to do, I used to get my ironing board out, and I used to do my ironing.
Oh, you were chatting?
No, she's asleep.
Oh, okay.
She's asleep and I do my ironing, watching her asleep.
Oh, okay.
In case she wakes up and I'm not there.
Oh, I see.
So I do my ironing while Tik was
that's devotion for you, eh? So then progressing on from that, you were chatting and everything else. Well, after a while you decided you'd come out and meet up with each other?
I think after about 3-4 months talking to her, I said, I'd like to come out and meet up with you. And she said, yeah, okay. She said, I spoke to other people, and they never came. They don't bother to come. And I said, I'll definitely come. I mean, you know. And it was to the degree that I had to show her the ticket that I bought
to prove,
because obviously other people had said they would come here and they hadn't bothered. And I think we started talking in about the May or the June, around that sort of time. And I actually, first time I came out was in the September.
Right, okay.
And first time in Thailand, I got to Udon Thani Airport.
Oh, you come up to Udon, yeah?
I come up to Udon. Yes, obviously I changed in Bangkok flights.
Sure, yeah.
Come up to Udon.
And you'd never been out here before, no?
Never been here before.
Wow, and a shock. Especially coming up to Udon as well.
Oh, yes, a big culture shock for me.
Yeah, I'll bet, yeah.
And I come through, got me luggage, and I'm looking for her. No, she's not here.
Oh.
And my heart sunk.
Yeah.
I thought, oh dear. The next I see a guy and a girl with a sign, Mr. Daryl.
Mr. Daryl, that's right. Yeah.
And it was Tick's brother and his girlfriend. Tick was on a bus coming to Udon from. She actually worked at a place called Wang Samo, which is right in the far end of Udon Thani province.
Okay.
And she worked at the hospital there, and she was coming on the bus.
Making the trip up.
The bus had broken down.
Oh, I bet she was cursing.
And she turned around, rang her brother, could he meet me at the airport?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so...
so you met the family before you met Tick?
Yes, yeah. And they took me to my hotel and got me settled in and all the rest of it.
Where did you stay when you first came out here?
Centara.
Oh, at the Centara, yeah.
The best hotel in town. Then the price, it was so cheap for the best hotel in town.
Yeah, sure. It would be what you used to pay in other places.
Yes,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so you actually got together, you met up, got on well. How long were you over for?
2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, only 2 weeks.
And then you had to leave on a jet plane again.
Yes, after 2 weeks I went back.
Yeah.
And we carried on talking. And we just got on so well.
Yeah.
And I just happened to say to her one day, how do you fancy getting married?
Okay.
And she said, yes. Wow. So I came over the next time, obviously the first time was in September. I go between Christmas and New Year. And obviously flights were very difficult to get between that period.
Of course,
and I struggled to get flights.
Yeah.
And the only flight I could get was with Air India.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've heard, yeah. In fact, I know people that have flown with them before, yeah.
With a stop off in Delhi.
Oh, lovely, yeah.
Yeah, lovely. I won't say any more about that.
No, we've spent time in India, and that's even more of a culture shock than what Thailand would be.
It certainly is, it certainly is.
So when you proposed, you were going to get married, did you have plans already in place? Did Tick say she'd like to come to England? At the time, were you thinking of moving to Thailand?
Yes, we did talk what the plans would be, what we'd do, and something I did promise her that I would take her back to England.
Okay.
Yeah, that was...
and she had no reservations about that? She was okay with it, was she?
She was very happy about it, because I think, the long and the short of it, she wasn't that happy where she was working here anyway.
Right.
So she wanted to get out of her job and all the rest of it. So
you came over here, you got married?
Yes.
And how long were you over for that time, roughly?
We actually got married on New Year's Day.
Okay.
That was the Buddhist
ceremony,
because obviously, as most people will be aware, there's a Buddhist ceremony and the legal sort of part of it.
Yeah.
So we got married on New Year's Day. I was here, I think, for 3 weeks that time. Then we went to Bangkok for our honeymoon.
Okay.
And spent, I think, about 12 or 13 days in Bangkok.
Right.
For the honeymoon. And like you asked me earlier, had we planned what we were going to do in the future?
Yeah.
And obviously, I brought all my documentation over for her visa.
Oh, so you started to get that put in place straight away?
While we were in Bangkok,
yeah.
Something I'd done, which I spent a lot of money on, which I wouldn't do. It's a wonderful thing, sort of hindsight, but I got robbed for about £1,000.
Did you?
For a lawyer to do the visa.
Right.
When basically I put most of the stuff together myself.
Okay.
It was all indexed, ready to go straight to the British Embassy for the visa, and the lawyer just took it off me, took £1,000 off me, and said thank you very much.
Whereas usually he'd be doing all that work for you.
Yes. So all the information they've got. Oh, sorry, step back one. We actually did a legal marriage in Bangkok.
Okay.
The most simplest marriage I've ever been. Well, say the simple. I've only had one before, so it's only so I don't want anybody to think I'm.
Really?
Yes.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, we sat in front of the registrar.
Yeah.
And he spoke with Turkey for 5 minutes. Didn't say nothing to me at all. And the next thing was he's there on his laptop, print, and the marriage certificate comes off the printer. Thank you very much.
That was easy.
And then I think the money, it wasn't much. It was about 10 baht for the.
Oh, really?
I can't remember, but it was very, very small money.
Yeah.
And that was it. Off the printer, you're married.
Oh.
And of course, obviously, I had to have the marriage certificate for the visa.
Yep.
So all that was taken to the lawyer to go through the visa. The lawyer sort of bundled everything up, all the bits and pieces, and then we just left it and went to enjoy ourselves.
Nice. So then that was it. Did it come back with you straight away, or?
No, because obviously she don't have the visa.
Oh, I see. So
Right.
that what you did with the lawyer in Bangkok?
Right. That was to sort all the visa application out to go to the British Embassy for a visa.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which I think the time limit then was about 6 weeks, I
Okay,
think.
yeah.
So after we'd sort of had our honeymoon in time in Bangkok together, I go back home and Tick have to come back to Udon Thani. Oh, stepping back a little bit, when we actually went from Udon Thani down to Bangkok, it's the first time Tick had been on a plane.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
Oh.
and she was frightened to death.
Oh, bless her.
And the other thing was she had to come back on her own.
Oh, okay. Of course, you're going from Bangkok back over
Because
to
I'm
England.
going back to the UK.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, she made it okay. She was okay. During the time that, the visa application was going on, she had to come back to Bangkok to have fingerprints taken, fingerprints, there was something else, I can't think what else it was now,
Yeah.
but VFS Global, that is like an agency that worked for the British Embassy,
Okay.
that collect all the data for
Make sure
them.
everything's in order before they come over, yeah. So she sorted her own visa out?
So she come back here, she come back to Bangkok on her own to sort that out at VFS Global, had to go back, and I was waiting for the phone call to make sure she'd got back okay. No phone call. Then she rang me. I've missed the plane.
Oh.
So she had to stop another night in Bangkok.
Yeah.
And the price of hotels in Bangkok, if you roll up and book them straight, are very expensive, as
Okay.
you're probably aware, I don't know. But normally,
Never stayed there.
we would be booking things online. And
Yeah,
the price
sure.
online
Yeah.
is a lot different to what it
Yeah,
is.
that's always fascinated me, the fact that you can book online through, I don't know, TripAdvisor or Agoda. You get a better deal than if you walk up to the counter with you're cutting out the middleman.
Yes.
And you'll get a better deal.
Yeah, but what I actually done, she's stuck in Bangkok. She come up with this price to the hotel, and it's the hotel that we stopped at when we were on our honeymoon. It was a nice hotel.
Right.
And I said, okay, don't worry. And I went on to Agoda or TripAdvisor, and I booked it for one night on TripAdvisor.
Yeah.
And I just emailed her the receipt for it.
Yeah, sure.
She went into the hotel and got the cheap price.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you put a middleman in who takes a bit of the profit.
Yes.
And the price is cheaper
Yes.
rather than booking direct with the hotel.
Yes.
Never understood it.
No. So she missed the flight that day.
Yeah.
She stopped overnight. The next night, she should have been on the flight back to Udon Thani, the last flight. She was sat in a departure lounge on her own,
Right.
thinking, why am I the only person on this flight?
Right.
After an hour in the departure lounge, she thought something was wrong.
Yeah.
So she asked somebody, and she was in the wrong departure lounge.
Oh,
So
no.
and she missed the flight a second time.
Well, she's not a jet setter. She's not used to this.
This is the
kind
thing.
of travel.
This is the thing. This is the thing. It's easy to laugh now, but but I remember she was so upset,
Yeah.
and she had to get then from Swanepoel because that was the last flight from Swanepoel to Udon to Don Muang Airport.
Yeah.
And buy another flight with Air, I think it was Air Asia or Nok Air or somebody, and again pay through the nose because she was buying it at the counter.
Yeah, sure. Do you know something? I'll give you an example of that. Pook and I travelled when we came over here permanently last year, just over a year ago.
Yes.
We went to Passair first of all, had a few months by the beach just to chill out. And then coming up to Udon Thani, you know, I think you get 30 kilograms on Thai Airways coming from UK, but then the internal flights you only usually get 20.
That's correct.
So I had to pay for and I said to her, don't worry about it, we'll pay for it at the airport. And I had a look online and seen how much it was, nothing at all. Got to the airport, it was a ridiculous price we had to pay. So again, if we'd have booked it online, where there's chances are there's a middleman taking his cut, we would have paid a fraction of what we had to pay by just rocking up to the airport and paying for the excess baggage. So there's a tip for anyone. Anyone who's got excess baggage, be sure to buy it online. Pay for it online, you'll get a much better deal.
Another thing I'll say, what airline did you travel from the UK to Thailand on?
Thai Airways, always use Thai Airways.
And Thai Smile?
I think it was Thai Smile, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I had this problem. I've travelled with Thai Airways to Bangkok, changed over with Thai Smile, and they wanted to charge me. And I said, no.
That's if you've got a flight that's linked in with the two of them together, they don't charge you, that's right.
Yes, that's right.
So if you fly from England and everything's on the same itinerary...
But they tried to charge me.
Oh, I've never had that.
Yeah, they tried to charge me and I wouldn't pay it.
No, this was separate because we had the Thai flight coming over to Thailand originally.
So you did it...
Then we booked the flight. We didn't know how long we were going to be in Pattaya for, so we didn't book that flight.
I understand now,
And I was kicking myself, you know, and it was a lot of... It wasn't a small... I don't care about little bits and pieces here and there, but it was a big amount, it really was. So anyway, Tick's back in Udon Thani with all the paperwork. She's getting the visa sorted.
She's back in Udon Thani. After about 2 weeks, she had a call from the lawyer, and the lawyer said, "You need to come back to Bangkok, and they've got to do a TB."
She's thinking, oh no, not those flights again.
That's right. She had to do a TB test. Yeah. Because anybody that's coming into the UK from Thailand, if they are staying more than 6 months, they must have a TB test. Oh, really? If you're there for 5 months, no problem. But more than 6 months, you must have a TB test. Yes.
Oh,
yes. Right. This will be another good tip for people.
Yep.
I looked at the prices. Now, obviously, I wanted a return ticket. Obviously, because I'm going to Thailand, I'm coming back to the UK. Tick is only coming
one way,
one way. So I looked at the price, and the price for one way was very near as much
as two-way.
So I thought, plus I would have to have done 2 separate bookings. So what I done, I booked a return ticket for both of us.
Okay.
Thinking, no problem.
Yeah.
Be okay. So when I checked in at Heathrow, the lady said to me, "Where is Mrs. Newman?" And I said, "Oh, she's still in Thailand." I said, "She's just going to come." "Oh, okay." She said, "No more about it."
Right.
So I didn't think anything about it at all. When we're coming back out of Thailand, to come back to the UK, we check in at Swanepoel Airport, and they look at my ticket. They check me in, no problem. Look at Tick's ticket. They say, "This ticket's cancelled." So, "What do you mean it's cancelled?" I said, "Of course it's not cancelled." "Yeah, it's cancelled." And then she explained to me, if you buy a return ticket and you do not use the first portion of that ticket, the second portion is automatically cancelled.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I think there's a lot of people may have caught a code with this one.
Oh, really?
And luckily, I explained to the lady on the desk what had happened. We just got married, and some story and all the rest of it. She actually spoke to her supervisor with Thai Airways, and supervisor come down. She was great, and she opened the ticket back up again.
Oh, nice.
So we could come, but I could have ended up paying for another ticket.
That's very unusual as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Usually something like that, they've got their rules and they stick with it and they can't budge. But it just goes to show that they can, and how decent of them to do that.
Yes. Yeah. And getting her back from Thailand back to the UK.
How did she settle in? I mean, she got back there, and she must have spoke to you about her initial impressions. Was she excited? Was she liking the look of it? Was she a bit disappointed?
She was very excited.
Yeah.
And all she kept saying was how everything is so clean. Now, to us, perhaps we don't think it's clean and tidy.
Well,
but she said everything is so clean here and tidy, and everything's so green and
You know how I see it though, and I think I mentioned this in that video that I did of the little village where we lived in Bexley. You know, Thailand. People look at Thailand, and it's not about the aesthetics. You go to a little street side, like I said, you know, you go to a little street side cafe, and you look at it. And in UK, there would no way would anyone stop at that cafe. It looked too dirty, too scruffy, too shambles.
That's right.
But here, it's not the aesthetics.
It's what
about
the food,
functionality.
It's what the food is like.
The food is perfect. That's
yes.
right. So you're getting top class food, even though the little shack around it.
Yes.
And that video that I did in the UK where we lived, you walk down there, and like I say, you've got like people like Roger Moore live there. It's a right beautiful little village just over the border into Kent, just outside of London. And you've got the pavements, you've got the curbstones, you've got the gutters, you've got the yellow lines everywhere stopping your parking. That's the downside.
Yes.
But everyone's little hedges are trimmed nice and neat, the houses look pretty. But for me, I liken it to a film set.
Yes.
You've got all of that beauty looking around, but behind it, it's like a film set where there's nothing, it's empty behind. That decency is missing in the UK now. I'm not saying everywhere, but the majority of it.
Yes.
The decency, the sense of community, sense of family is so often missing. And the UK for me now, it just feels like a bit like a prison, even though you're not in prison. Well, you are in a way, you know, you're being told what to do all the time, and that's what I don't like about it. So you were there. How long were you living in the UK for together?
About 5-6 years.
And then you were getting to a point where you retired then?
I wanted to finish. I could have finished a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I said I would see it out till when I was 60. I think I went to 59, I think. And we'd always sort of planned to build a house.
Yeah.
This was another sort of one of the pre-wedding sort of agreements. We were building.
You would eventually come to Thailand and have a house here.
We would come to Thailand, yes. And we bought the plot of land. I'm trying to think how long I bought it. It was 5 years before we built the house anyway.
Okay.
So we bought the plot of land, built the land up, and left the land for 5 years to let it settle. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, sort of moving on, we decided we'd sort of move sort of out here. For how long, I don't know, because it was a little bit of open-ended thing. But Tick, she'd run back to the UK tomorrow. She'd prefer the UK to Thailand any day. Yes, where I'm the one that wants to stay in Thailand.
Yeah, I can understand that.
She would rather.
She'd rather be in the UK.
She'd rather be in the UK.
What a shame.
Yeah, she'd rather be in the UK. And how things usually happen, the ladies usually get their own way. But I still have my house in the UK.
So you can dip in and out of there.
So
I mean, can you split your time? Would you be able to do that, or would you want to? Honestly, I'll be perfectly honest. I'm so happy that Pook loves being back here with her family.
Yeah.
And it's not a short-term thing. It's not like the novelty's going to wear off. She absolutely adores being in Thailand.
Yes.
She did. She was okay in England. It wasn't like she was pushing all the time to come back to Thailand. No. But the thing is, she sees Thailand. Maybe I've sort of like swayed her a little bit. She sees England for what it is, and maybe it's me giving the negative slant on it, and the way that things have changed there, the way things have gone downhill there, the political system. Yes. I'm not saying the political system's good here, but you just don't seem to get that involved in it here, and it doesn't really affect your day-to-day life, I don't think.
No.
So maybe it's that, but she's absolutely fine here, and we've got no plans. If I've got to go back to England at some point, because we've still got I've got a few guitars over there, a few clothes, things like that. Pook has as well, at my mates. So when you go back to get that, but I'd be quite happy to go and get those, get on the next flight back and never go back to the UK again. Yeah. I would. Yeah. And I think Pook would be the same as well. So Tick's gone back to the UK with you, you're both back in the UK, and then is there anything else you have to do with the visa then, or is it already sorted or what?
No, right, what happens is she came on what they call a spouse visa.
Okay.
The spouse visa is for 2 years,
right?
But they actually give you 2.5 years, because they give you 6 months beforehand. So the visa is worth 6 months before you actually leave Thailand, if that's what you want to do. So once the visa's been issued, you've got 6 months to leave the country and go into the UK.
I see, I understand.
So you've actually got 2 years once you're in the UK to sort something out. Now, obviously, you've got sort of different sort of options. And obviously, our option was for her to stay sort of permanently. And the next thing is what you'd apply for is what they call indefinite leave to remain. I know things have changed quite a lot now.
I'm sure they have,
from what it was then,
yeah.
but I can only talk of what it was at that time. And to get indefinite leave to remain, you had to do something called the Life in the UK test, or you had to have an ESOL qualification in English. So we thought, oh, we'll get the ESOL qualification in English. So went to the local college. You do ESOL? Yes. My wife wants to enroll in the college. How long has she been in the UK? 6 months. She's got to be in the UK for a year before we'll accept her in the college. Okay. And I think, this is strange. So if I'm leaving it for a year, that only gives her a year.
1 year to sort everything out.
To sort everything out. And if she happened to fail it at the end of the year, I've got big problems. So the other thing was to actually do the Life in the UK test.
Okay. Now I think that's what Poop did because Poop sorted out her passport.
Yes.
Before we even met, and I think she had to go through something like that.
Yes. Yeah. So the Life in the UK test, you buy a book and you read the book, and what it's all about, because I looked at it originally, I looked at the questions in the book, and I'm thinking, what relevance these questions got? I could not see any relevance whatsoever.
And I've heard that some of those questions, we as British people wouldn't even know the answers
You would not
anyway.
know the answer to it at all.
Crazy, isn't it?
No, but I will explain to you now my understanding of how it works.
Right.
And what the understanding of how I see it is, you've got to be able to read that book and understand the book.
Okay.
So once you've read the book and you understand it, you are able to answer the questions.
Gotcha.
So in there, it will tell you what percentage of Leicester is the Muslim population. That's a classic question. Now, I wouldn't know that, and you wouldn't know that. No. But if you've read the book and you understood the book, you would know the answer to that question. Right. That's how it works.
So if you can learn that book parrot fashion, the answer's parrot fashion.
Now, bearing in mind, this book is in English.
Yeah.
They don't do a Thai version.
Okay.
So she reading the book, and what she did, she wrote all over the book in Thai different words of what they meant, because obviously there was a lot of words in that book which she didn't know what that word meant.
No real meaning to her.
And she'd ask me, what is the meaning of this word? I'd tell her, and she'd write it in Thai in the book. The book was written, Thai written all over the book.
She should publish that.
And she basically learned it parrot fashion. There's lots of tests online that you can do it, mock tests. So she actually put in for the test. We went down to Swindon, which is about 30 miles away. Yeah. Done the test, passed it, no problem.
Okay.
It was all applied for. So it come through. She's now got indefinite leave to remain, stamped in her Thai passport.
Okay.
Now that had to be done for 2 years.
Right.
So we've got that. The next thing is citizenship. You cannot do citizenship until you've been in the UK 3 years. So we had a year's sort of break to get the citizenship. And as soon as we got the citizenship or naturalisation certificate, that's what it's called, we then were in a position to apply for a passport.
Such a drawn out process, isn't it, when you look at all these different stages?
Yes. So,
and those people, those people who start shouting and screaming about bloody foreigners in this country and all that, they just don't realise, do they?
No. Something else, I will just step back a little bit.
Yeah.
When I originally started the process and she had her spouse visa, then I think the spouse visa was about £500 or £600.
Oh, hang on a minute, we've got like refreshments coming out.
The spouse visa was £500 or £600.
Right.
So that was the start of the process.
Yeah.
The next thing was indefinite leave to remain. That was about £700. The citizenship was £900 and something pound.
Yeah.
So you said people that think you just come into the UK and get everything.
It's not the case, is it?
It's not the case, and it's not.
And it's ignorance.
Yes,
that causes that racist streak, and causes a lot of racism because of the upset.
Yes.
Bloody foreigners coming in, taking our jobs, doing this, doing that. They have to work hard for it, and it costs an awful lot of money, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
I didn't have a clue how much of a drawn-out process it was, actually taking a Thai lady over to the UK, the process, and the rigmarole that's involved. And so obviously this video's gone on a lot longer than I thought it would, so I've had to split it up. So we've seen the part about Daryl meeting up with his wife, how they met, and everything that they had to go through so that she can move to the UK, and some of the experiences of that move. So I'll cut the video here. Still to come, and I'll put it out within a week or two, is Daryl's experience with private health insurance over here, and actually having to go to hospital using that insurance, and also all of the information on his house build. His house build is so detailed you won't believe it. The spreadsheet that he kept showing every individual item that he purchased. It's incredible, it really is. But anyway, I'll save that for another day, and we'll leave it here for now. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back again soon with another video. Thank you.